Hello and welcome back to A New Mexican. I'm Nick Driver, and let's go ahead and get into today's story. So today I'm going to be talking about this secret prom that happened in Las Cruces, New Mexico, a weekend ago. It's been making its round on the news. Everyone's been talking about it. So we're going to start with this news article by Jaden Torres out of KOAT. Let's see. Let's start with this. So, Las Cruces, New Mexico. Under advisement from the New Mexico Public Education Department and the Department of Health, Mayfield School will voluntarily switch to remote learning for the next 10 days while Las Cruces Public Schools investigate allegations of so-called secret prom occurred over the weekend. Remember this. They said voluntarily, okay? Remote learning will be in effect between April 16th, or from between Friday, April 16th and Monday, April 12th, to mitigate any potential spread of COVID-19. The district was notified Wednesday that a complaint was filed with the governor's office alleging the event happened April 10th and involved potential hundreds of students from Mayfield High School. We got a Karen on our hands. Somebody ratting out the children of New Mexico for having a prom. The event was not sanctioned by Mayfield High School or LCPS and not happening during school hours. The complaint that was filed suggested students engaged in behavior that potentially threatened the health and safety of the student population. So right there, Mayfield didn't do anything. The school didn't do anything. Just a bunch of kids from the school decided to get together. And then they got in trouble because they were gathered outside of school without, because they need permission from their school to gather nowadays, I guess. That's what it is, right? It's a little weird and eerie. Why is the school acting like the parents? I don't know. I don't think the school should be acting like the parents. But anyways, irresponsible out-of-school activities have a tremendous impact on health status in Doñana County, said Superintendent Ralph Ramos. We have worked tirelessly to stay compliant with public health orders to get students back in the classroom. Violating the orders against mass gatherings is a disappointing disruption to those effects. High school administrators will work in conjunction with the district central office to conduct investigation into the initial allegations according to the district. The investigation includes possible implications that students from the other high schools may have attended the event or organized similar events. Anyone with information could assist, and public schools is asked to call. So if you want to snitch, here's the phone number. If you want to rat out these kids for having a good time and enjoying their young life, because they're not afraid of something that has less than a 0.002% chance of affecting them, less than a 0.002 chance from actually doing anything to them. Yeah, okay. I just think this is funny because it's irresponsible out-of-school activities. You can't do out-of-school activities and the school is going to get on top of you for things you're doing out of school. Man, that's kind of scary. The school's kind of acting like the Gestapo right now. I mean, they're forcing kids to have secret meetings just so they can hang out with each other. And then they're getting ratted on, and now they're in trouble, and now they're being forced into confinement and back at home again. That's a little eerie and a little irresponsible, and seems like y'all don't care about our kids. But anyways, let's keep going. So the secret prom. So let's switch over to KOB4. Secret prom puts New Mexico school back on remote learning. Doesn't say who wrote this article. I don't see it at the top. Okay. Las Cruces returned to remote learning on Friday as the school district in New Mexico, most populous city, investigates a recent off-campus secret prom that officials said violates state mandates intended to curb the spread of the coronavirus. A complaint submitted to the governor's office said hundreds of Mayfield students or school students may have attended an event April 10th, according to Las Cruces school statement released Thursday. While the event is investigated, Mayfield will remain on remote learning through April 26th to prevent the potential spread of COVID-19, the district statement said. Students who attended could face repercussions ranging from academic suspensions to being barred from school events such as graduations, district spokeswoman Kelly Jameson told the Las Cruces Sun News. So you're going to punish them for meeting and having a good time with their friends, and then you're also going to punish them by taking away their learning and by taking away their graduation, and by that's just counterproductive. You're not creating a you're really disenfranchising our youth, basically. Is all I'm saying. That's really disenfranchising our youth. Now, I don't see much coming from our youth nowadays if we're going to criminalize them for hanging out with their friends. Just saying, we need to give our youth some more chances. All right. And you understand that students have certainly missed out on an awful lot this last year, Jameson said. But anything that threatens their own safety and welfare is something that could potentially impact others, and the district sees that as irresponsible at this point. They just said students have missed, but anything that threatens their own safety and welfare. The school is not the parents. The school is not the parents. The school is not the student. We are individual Americans. We have rights to choose. Anything that threatens their own safety and welfare, you're trying to say this is for their own that seems oddly familiar. We're doing this for your own safety and welfare. Where does that sound familiar? I don't know. You tell me. Y'all leave comments. Tell me what you think. Josh Zeal of Al Cartel Events Products told the Sun News that he was hired as a DJ for the event. He estimated between 100 and 150 students attended. Attendees wore masks, but many did not keep them on the whole time, said Zeal, who said he wore his mask throughout the event. I read that right. They just didn't edit their article. Approximately 20 adults supervised the events, trying to keep blank social distancing as best as they could, he said. The Sun News reported that it was unable to confirm the location. The New Mexico Department of Health said anyone who organizes secret proms or other events that violate the emergency guidelines or large gatherings could face civil or criminal penalties in Doña County, which includes Las Cruces. The limit is 10 per gathering. I don't know. They say I'm... That's just straight fascism and authoritarianism right there. Telling people they can only gather in 10 people. Like, you say it's for our health, but honestly, more people are getting sick and hurt from being stuck at home and not seeing other people than... Anyways. Let's see. Las Cruces Public Schools in Ralph Ramos' alleged incident contradicts efforts. Violating the order against mass gatherings is a disappointing disruption to those events. Mayfield High School principal Eric Foss said he learned of the event the next morning after being forwarded photos from social media posts. Some teachers are disappointed that kids, in their opinion, were being irresponsible, Frass said. Zell and the DJ said he was pleased to see the gathering. Honestly, the kids had such a good time, and you could just tell, he said. See? You guys are hating on the kids for going out and just having a good time during this crazy pandemic. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what about... Get over yourselves. Get over yourselves. Before we go any further, before we go into the Las Cruces Faces backlash, I just want to bring this. This is from Mike Rowe. I'm sorry, not Mark Rowe. This is his take on the pandemic that I think everybody and anybody should hear because it makes the most sense. Thus, for the last 3 months, I've been operating from the assumption that this is a year-round virus that eventually is going to affect 100 million people and kill roughly half of the 1% of those infected. So half of 1% of those who were infected. Conservatively. I've accepted those numbers. So have I. I've accepted those numbers as well. Unfortunately, millions of others have not. Many people have no sense of where this is headed, and I understand why. They have been betrayed by a hysterical media that insists on covering each news reported case as if it were the first case. Completely agree with you, Mike. I've accepted certain things about the pandemic, and now I've gotten used to the risk as I understand it. I take precautions, I get tested as often as I can, and if I can't physically distance, I wear a mask, especially around higher risk people. Likewise, I wear a seatbelt, obey speed limits, and check my mirrors before changing lanes. Yes, I'm aware that we'd all be a lot safer if we kept our cars in the garage. I'm also aware we would be a lot safer if we all kept ourselves in the house. But that's not why cars or people exist. 100% agree with you, Mike Rowe. We can't be locking everybody up and whatnot. It's just not healthy. Okay, so this one, Las Cruces Public Schools faces backlash over secret prom investigation. So these are people more like on my side, I'm assuming that they're reporting on. This one's by Francesca Washington out of KRQE. The Las Cruces Public Schools District is facing backlash from parents and lawmakers following the secret prom investigation and return to remote learning. Las Cruces Public Schools tell KRQE News 13 there were 2 events not sanctioned by the district last weekend. So there's 2 events, not just one. And remember, they said they voluntarily went home. It wasn't a voluntary remote learning. They were forced to go to remote learning by the Gestapo government called Michelle Lujan. Anyways, they say a gathering involving Oñate High School students followed health order guidelines. However, the event involving Mayfield High School students did not and prompted the secret prom investigation. Senator David Gallegos and Crystal Diamond met with district administrators after receiving calls and complaints from concerned parents. According to Senator Diamond, 2 Oñate students were told they would have to return to remote learning like Mayfield High School student because the district believed they attended the secret prom. Once it was determined the 2 students attended the COVID-safe gathering, the district reversed its decisions, but lawmakers say the district's response to these private events is alarming. I think this school board and all school boards should spend less time worrying about what students are doing outside of the classroom and more time worrying about how we're going to help them recover from the year of education they just lost. I agree with you. I agree with Crystal Diamond on this. We need to. They're outside of school. School knows nothing about it. School needs to leave it the F alone. All right. According to a complaint, hundreds of Mayfield students were believed to have attended the non-sanctioned event. The district tells KRQE News 13 they have an obligation to monitor gatherings that violate the public health orders, especially if they could have an impact on their campuses. We are bound by public health order right now. We have to follow the guidance from the Department of Health and the Public Education Department. And that guidance is we cannot have mass gatherings, and the events that happened over the weekend were most definitely mass gatherings that could impact the health and safety of our staff, says Kelly Jameson, Public Information Officer of Las Cruces Public Schools. Seems a little selfish. I'm just saying, seems a little selfish what you just said. Anyways, Las Cruces Public Schools says they are not looking to punish students by keeping them from graduation. Last month, the Public Health Department did say districts could host proms and release guidance for how they could happen safely. KRQE News 13 reached out to the Public Education Department of Health for more information on these events and if they had concerns about similar events happening statewide, but officials were not available to contact. That's because they don't want to talk. Why would they want to comment about that? They know the backlash they're going to get if they're telling all these high school kids who are literally not affected by this to not go out and gather and have fun and enjoy their life. We're over a year into this pandemic. We have the vaccine out. People are still going crazy. And like Mike Rose said, y'all need to just get over the fact that people are going to die from this. I'm sorry if it's someone you loved, someone that was close to you. I really do feel empathy for you people, and I'm sorry that happened to you. But at the same time, it's just like anybody losing a family member from getting hit by a car, from the flu, from a pneumonia, anything like that. It happens. We need to move on. We as America need to stop this staggering of our growth. Stop punishing people for interacting with people. Stop punishing businesses for trying to make money and grow. We need to open up and stop living in fear. It's that simple. Living in fear is not the way humans are supposed to live. Because if we lived in fear our entire life, we would not be where we are today. We would not be where we are today if we lived in fear. We'd still be stuck in a cave somewhere, like the Croods. Like the father and the Croods. That's how I feel the Democrats are right now. The father from the Croods. And then the rest of us, like me, are more like Eve, who just want to be out and free and be able to make our own decisions and decide what's safe and what's not for us. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, that's all I got on this point today. Feel free to leave any comments, agree, disagree. Tell me what you want me to talk about next. Tell me what you want to hear. If you like it, please hit that like and subscribe button. Share it. Do all that fun stuff for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you all again. I'm Nick Driver. I'm a New Mexican, and I care about you.